let's kind of rewind a little bit. Kansas City and Philly. How did these teams get here, guys?
Well, they're saying that the path for Philadelphia, the easiest path to the big game for any team, except for maybe the 1991 Washington squad. They got Atlanta with Chris Miller, and then the Detroit with Eric Kramer as the two quarterbacks they faced.
Wow, check out the memory on Teddy, huh?
No, I had to research that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Let's be realistic.
Google's our friend.
Certainly when you look at how Philly got here, beating a G-Men team that, you know, they were happy to be there.
Sure.
And then last week facing a team with a fourth-string quarterback that couldn't throw the football.
Right.
And, so a relatively easy slate for Philadelphia to get to where they are.
Yeah, unlike Kansas City, that has been battle tested and been from day one. We talked about this beginning of the year. Kansas City had the toughest schedule in the league up through Halloween. Without Tyreek Hill, he had moved on. What their offense was going to look like, lots of new parts. They passed every one of those tests, went through some injuries, and then in the playoffs really had a tough route of it as well. The Kansas City Gamblers, or the new gamblers in Kansas, have not been rewarded, as this Kansas City team has not been very good against the spread. But as we get into the playoffs, this is a team that's doing what we expect from them. They were 10-1 preseason, one of the preseason favorites, and they're still, still there playing with one game left.
Well, as of now, Philly are the favorites. What are some of the early money trends you guys are seeing?
Well, so there's some interesting concerns about what the true opener was, because many books offer different prices. In some books, we saw Philadelphia as the favorite. In some books, we saw Kansas City as the favorite. But the early money absolutely poured in on Philly off the opener. And a lot of that was the injury report for Kansas City. The market's very concerned about KC when it comes to injuries. But after that initial deluge of Philadelphia money, the markets have settled down now, and we've seen a little bit of buyback on Kansas City.
Yeah.
Philly's still the favorite, but they're short favorites. I don't think they got up to a field goal.
Yeah, of course, KC lost their top three receivers.
Exactly, yeah, had a lot of injuries to deal with. It was interesting because the look-ahead lines all had Philly favored, no matter who they were going to play, but then when the numbers first came out from a couple of the houses, Kansas City was favored, so it was an interesting situation where most of the time when you go into this last game, everybody's kind of lined up on where the line should fall. So an interesting couple of first days as we headed into these 2 weeks.
Anything interesting pop out in terms of over-unders? I know that's something you've been playing a lot, John.
I have, yeah. With Kansas City, we've been going under a lot when they've been playing very average defenses. This game opened high and then was bet under, open 51 or so, 51 and a half, and then bet down pretty much immediately. Now, as Teddy was saying, the lines have kind of settled, as has the total. It's come back over 50.